Good morning. Welcome back to Passion World Talk Radio Network, a wholly owned subsidiary of Global Media Network, LLC. Educate, enlighten, entertain, and let's not forget mindfulness. On today's special report, we are going to talk about the current administration and their vision board. The article is written by Steve Benham, Benen, and he titled it Over 24 Hours, Trump Makes His Authoritarian Style Vision Plan. And plain. And he goes on in italics to say every once in a while the president has a day hyphen a single comma 24-hour period in which his authoritarian vision comes into sharp relief. And Mr. Benham starts out by saying that during the 2024 campaign, the president didn't exactly make an effort to obscure his authoritarian instincts. He is, after all, the first presidential hopeful in American history to speak publicly about terminating parts of the Constitution that stand in the way of his ambitions and creating a temporary American dictatorships. Comment. Well, we all know that dictatorships, oligarchies, emperors, kings, call it what you may, the rule of one over many is not a temporary, it's a permanent. And it usually gets passed down to father to son. And in this case, since this particular president does not like women in positions of power, it scares the daylights out of him. I'm pretty sure he'll follow that old tradition. The voters who put him into office didn't know, didn't care, or didn't believe that the Republican rhetoric and the second time he's run for president, won a second term, at which point he continued to add to his vision. Just 1 month into a second term, he said and described himself as, quote, king, unquote, which came just 4 days after he similarly declared, he who saves his country does not violate any law. Well, we all know, comment, what happened to Napoleon Bonaparte. Some say he died from stomach cancers, while others hint darkly that he died of food poisoning or poisoning. On Sunday, April 14th, in the evening, in response to a CBS program, 60 Minutes, that aired segments that this guy, the president, didn't like, he accused the news program of fraud, airing defamatory segments and being a political operative. Well, he ought to know he acts that way all the time, comment. He said that CBS should lose their license, that it was engaged in unlawful and illegal behavior, and they should pay a big price. And he called upon the FCC to impose the maximum fines and punishment because the network displeased him. Comment, oh, that's just too bad. We still have freedom of speech in this country, and you just don't do things like that, Mr. President. Whether you like or dislike somebody, grow a second skin. Buckle up. Your administration is going to be full of a lot of bumps and bruises. Sunday, April 13th, in the evening, when he was asked about Russia's latest attack in the Ukraine, this president said and made excuses for his good friend and big brother Putin. They made a mistake. Comment, I should make a mistake like that and see what happens to me. Monday, April 14th, midday. The president claimed his administration lacked the authority to bring back Kilmar Abrigo Garcia, whom he departed as a mistake. Well, the mistake is that the El Salvadorian president refuses to pluck this guy out of prison and return him to the United States. Buckle has insisted, I'm not going to do that. And the president said, in my own words, comment, whatever. I don't make mistakes. Kings and gods don't make mistakes. Kind of reminds you of Henry VIII, huh? This is in despite of the court orders instructing the present administration to bring back Garcia's return. Monday, April 14th, midday. The president blocked the Associated Press journalists from attending a presidential event, despite a court ruling instructing the president and his team to restore the AP's access. Comment, oh, that's right. The law applies to everybody except for the current president and his cronies. Monday, April 14th, midday. The current president says he's interested in sending American citizens to a Salvadorian prison, despite U.S. laws that prohibit such radicalism. Monday, April 14th in the early evening. Trump was turned down even after he throws more than $2 billion in grants to Harvard University because Harvard refused to accept a series of outlandish demands the White House hoped to impose on the institution. Comment, what did he think they were going to do? That everybody would do it for the love of gold? Now, if you take these events individually, they're unsettling. But to those who take a republic and democracy seriously, let's separate the forest from the trees. This and these are not just disconcerting stories. They're collectively one dramatic story about a president who's increasingly overt and is indifferent to the American system and the rule of law. This took place during a 24-hour period, and it's not unusual. If you follow my math, over the last 12 weeks, Americans have seen a great many days just like this one. And listen up, folks. There's every reason to believe there will soon be many more. So, thank you very much for joining us this morning. Special Reports is brought to you by Conscious Research Solutions. Check us out on facebook.com/Conscious Research Solutions with Lillian, or check us out at passionworldtalkradionetwork.com/research made simple blog. Click on it. It'll take you to the page where you can read about your pain points and how pwtrn can help you deal with these pain points. Interested? Go down below and either go over to Calendly or on the form, your name, email, good time for you. Set up your appointment on Calendly and receive a free 15-minute consultation. Like what you hear, you'll be presented with a contract and a specified form to write down the type of research you need assistance with. Also, the second company is Ruby, rubi.ai. Check us out at aiwithlillian.com. It'll take you to the page where there are testimonials, important. A demonstration of the software, more important. And signed up for a monthly subscription, the most important one of them all. Thank you very much for listening. And if you would like to keep on listening to these programs, please go over to https:// passionateworldtalkradio.com/donation and see what the rest of the world and the universe is talking about. Voices of the people, united we roar. Have a great day.